I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the Bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Before we get started with the no half step in hockey coverage, first let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you learn everything you need to know about the show. And once you're good and educated about the show, click on that merchandise tab, take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, all the gimmicks you've come to know, love, and expect from the Renegades of Puck. Socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, it's all in there. After all, we've sold out so that you can buy in. Still plenty of time. Pick up some Christmas gifts there in our online store. Social media is a way you can help support this independent and unaffiliated hockey operation. Jump on the trenches with the Renegades of Puck by following us on Threads, on Instagram, X, and Facebook. We appreciate any support there. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it certainly doesn't take you any time at all to help us out in the digital realm. So thank you. Stick taps, love, and respect to everybody who's followed along with the show on social media. Also, follow our YouTube channel, subscribe to it, and catch the latest content from the Renegades of Puck. We're always posting something over there on our YouTube channel, so make sure you check that out for the latest. You can support the show financially by scanning the QR code that's on our swear jar that's right over there on the edge of the desk. That'll take you to Venmo, or you can just scan, or you can search Renegades of Puck when you get to Venmo, and you'll find us. Every dollar goes directly to helping the Renegades of Puck, and we sure do appreciate everybody's support out there. Stick taps, love, and respect as we build towards 2025. Now, listen, I know it is time for the no half-step in hockey coverage. Believe me, it is cold enough, so let's get to the goods. Time for operation number 938. That is right, it's time for show number 938. And at this moment in hockey history, Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 7th place in the Central Division after 27 games played. They have a record of 7-14-6. 20 points has them way behind first place. We'll update the Central here in just a moment. But the Preds' next game will take place on the road, where the Predators have a road record this season of 2-8-4. 2-8-4 for the Nashville Predators. 60 goals on the season scored, 85 goals against. That's a goal differential of minus 25. For the Nashville Predators, once they wrap up this last game of the road trip in Ottawa, they will come home for Tuesday to face off against Calgary Flames, and immediately back on the road Thursday at Dallas, Saturday at Colorado, the 17th of December versus the New York Rangers at Bridgestone Arena, and the 19th of December versus the Pittsburgh Penguins at Bridgestone Arena. Now, quick update on the Central Division before we get into the Preds and the Sens. The Minnesota Wild still lead the Central Division, first place, 38 points, but the Winnipeg Jets have tied them up at 38 points apiece. The Dallas Stars in third place with 32. The chase pack begins with Colorado Avalanche at 28, St. Louis at 26, Utah at 24. And then the two teams that are pretty much out of it right now, at least, the Nashville Predators are in 7th place in the Central Division with 20 points, and the Chicago Blackhawks in 8th place in the Central Division with only 18 points on the season. Now, for the Preds and the Ottawa Senators, this is the first of two meetings this regular season, this one taking place in Ottawa, so the next one will take place at Bridgestone Arena. That will happen on February the 3rd. If you haven't been paying attention to the Eastern Conference a whole lot so far this season, the Ottawa Senators are 11-12-2 overall with 24 points. That's 6th in the Atlantic Division, but on home ice, a very good record of 7-5-1, so 7 of the Sens' 11 wins coming on home ice. 77 goals for, 81 goals against, the goal differential of -4. Much more impressive than the Predators, that's for sure. The most recent stretch of 5 games goes back to November the 25th, when the Ottawa Senators scored a 4-3 win versus the Calgary Flames. On the 27th of November, it was a 4-3 win at the San Jose Sharks. On the 30th of November, a 5-2 loss at the LA Kings, finishing up that road trip on the 1st of December with a 4-3 shootout loss at the Anaheim Ducks. Returning home on the 5th of December, a 2-1 victory versus Detroit. That's their most recent game. Was Linus Ullmark getting start going 19 out of 20, then picking up the victory. Before we get into the matchup and the NHL rankings at this moment between these two teams, update on the Nashville Predators injury front. Ryan O'Reilly listed as week to week. That is troublesome for the Nashville Predators, already having difficulty scoring. Their now top-line center, who hasn't missed a game since joining the Predators, is going to be out for week to week with an injury. Now, let's get into the matchup between the Preds and the Sens. Coming into this game, the Predators have the worst offense in the NHL. 32nd overall, 2.22 goals per game, and be honest with you, it's dropping. Somehow it's getting worse. It seems inconceivable that it could get any worse, but it is getting worse. Multiple games in a row with 2 goals or less. I don't know how. The Ottawa Senators, 3.08 goals per game. Reasonable. 14th right there in the middle of the pack in the NHL. And the goals against, 3.20. That's 25th in the NHL. The Predators are at 3.15. That's 22nd overall in the NHL. In the shots for category, the Preds generating 29.2. That's 14th. Ottawa generating 31 shots on goal per game. That's 4th best in the NHL. In the shots against category, Ottawa also in a top 10 metric. 27.4 shots against per game is 8th best, while the Predators giving up 29.9 is 24th overall in the NHL. Preds power play is sinking fast. 19.1% now. Conversion rate is down to 19th in the NHL. 16 conversions out of 84 opportunities. The Ottawa Senators going the other direction. 26.4% on their conversion rate is 7th best in the league. 23 conversions out of 87 opportunities. The Preds PK still first in the league, but it is also dipping the percentage now down to 87.5%. That's still rated first. They've now given up 11 power play goals against. They've given up a power play goal in a couple of games in a row now. The Ottawa Senators penalty kill is 75.7%. Kill rate is 25th in the league. They've given up 18 power play goals against. So the Ottawa Senators find themselves in 6th place in the Atlantic Division, 4 points better than the Nashville Predators at this point in the season. But in the statistical matchup, 3 top 10 metrics, and the Nashville Predators with 1. So the Ottawa Senators look on paper to be favored in this one. The way the Predators have been playing lately, it's hard to predict the Nashville Predators can come away with a victory under almost any circumstance. When it comes to the top scorers for each of these teams, let's talk about the visiting Nashville Predators first. Why not? 7 goals and 16 assists for 23 points for Roman Josi. Philip Forsberg's got 9 and 8 for 17. O'Reilly's 5 goals and 9 assists for 14 points. Remember, out week to week. Steven Stamkos is at 7 goals and 6 assists for 13 points. And Jonathan Marchessault is at 5 goals and 8 assists for 13 points. That should sound extremely familiar. It's because there was absolutely no movement in the statistics for the Nashville Predators in any meaningful way other than negative. Over on the other side of things, the Ottawa Senators are led by Stützle, 10 goals, 20 assists, 30 points. And Kachuk's got 13 goals and 16 assists for 29 points. Batherson's at 9 and 18 for 27 overall. Norris at 11 goals, 6 assists, 17 points. And Giroux, 6 and 11 for 17 in net. Linus Ullmark just got the victory versus Detroit Red Wings. He's got a record of 6-7-2, a 2.93 goals against, an 8.91 save percentage on the season. UC Saros, the record, bad, 6-11-5. Almost as many overtime losses as he has regulation wins. And when you look at it in reality, this is a 6-16 record for the starting netminder of the Nashville Predators. 2.64 goals against, 9.11 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. Now, you got to go back and talk about what happened in the second night of back-to-backs. The Nashville Predators were in Montreal, started in Toronto, then went the second night to Montreal, and then Saturday will be in Ottawa. It's the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. It's coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. We go all the way back to December the 5th of the year 2024 when the Nashville Predators were in Montreal to face off against Canadiens for the first of 2 meetings this season. Second night of back-to-backs, head coach Andrew Burnett deploys his lines and D pairs in the following ways, and we do have an update here. Ryan O'Reilly listed as out week to week, so not in the lineup here. Forsberg, Stamkos, and Nyquist, Jankowski, Svechkov, and Marchessault, LaRue, Parson, Evangelista, Smith, McCarron, and Sisson. So Novak also healthy, scratched in this game. McCarron back into the lineup. Josi and Carrier, Shea and Blankenberg, Wilsby and Shen make up your defensive pairings, and Juicy Justus Noonan makes his first start as a Nashville Predator. We are just 1:07 into the first period, and Noonan coming up with a save on Matheson's first shot on goal of the game at the 2:30 mark. And Noonan another save on Dvorak at the 3:35 mark of the first period. It's Montembeault coming up with a save on Svechkov at 4:09. Montembeault another save, this time on LaRue. Sharp angle shot at the 5:53 mark of the first period. Noonan's back to work, coming up with a save on Caulfield, sliding across the crease, showing some outstanding edge work and tracking at the 6:58 mark of the first. We get our first special teams scenario as Montreal picks up a bench minor for too many men on the ice. Montembeault comes up with a save on Philip Forsberg, but then it is Evans with the shorthanded goal off of the rush. It's Evans' 5th goal of the season, giving the Montreal Canadiens a 1-goal lead in the shorthanded scenario. Nashville Predators unable to capitalize in the remaining seconds of their power play afterwards. Past the halfway point of the first period, now at 10:17 in the first, it's Noonan coming up with a save on Suzuki off of the rush at 11:02. Noonan comes up with a save on Gallagher, plus the follow-up by Savard at 14:23. Back to work again, this time a save on Laine, 17:06. Another big save on Suzuki, the Nashville Predators' newest netminder, holding his own here in the first period. 18:56 now, the first period. It's Jankowski, and he's pissed about it. Off to the box, 2 minutes for hooking, and Noonan comes up with a save on Laine, plus 2 follow-up jam attempts. A big scrum, lots of bodies, lots of traffic. Everything manages to hold. We hit the end of the first period with Montreal out shooting Nashville 13-6, leading 1-0. A carryover of a power play of 56 seconds onto the clean sheet. Let's pick the action up right there with the Predators having an outstanding penalty kill for that 56 seconds. We go to the 3:30 mark for the next action. We find a Noonan coming with a save on Barron at 4:17. Noonan comes up with a save on Struble, 6:46. Another save, this time on Matheson. Again, doing some heavy lifting in his first start as a Nashville per 8:57 now. On the second period, Philip Forsberg hitting the crossbar. The NHL leader in shots missed this season manages to ring one off of the iron. I guess things are getting closer. 10-11 now, halfway through this game. In the second period now, it's Savard off the box, 2 minutes for roughing on Cole Smith. Montembeault, a huge save on Nyquist. Then Montembeault comes up with a save on Forsberg, not once but twice, and plenty of solid zone time for the Nashville Predators, but just simply not enough getting through into the high danger areas. 12:19 now, the second period. Savard, he misses the net on a breakaway out of the box. Not only an outstanding penalty kill for Montreal, but then they almost pick up the goal immediately out of the box. 13:32 with the second is Montembeault with the save on LaRue, plus his follow-up jam. LaRue crashing hard and earning some attention in the pest kind of way. 16:08 now, the second period. Noonan with the save on Caulfield. 19:21 of the second period. It is Nyquist off the box. 2 minutes. He picks up a minor, and then Sissons picks up a 2-minute minor for interference on the penalty kill. This leads to a 5-on-3 for 1 minute and 25 seconds. Of course, there's only 3 seconds left in the period right here, so a face-off, and we hit the intermission. 25-16 are your shots on goal after 2 periods, but a massive carryover of a 5-on-3 hanging over the heads of the Predators during the entirety of the intermission. 122 of that 5-on-3 would not be necessary, as Laine would convert with a wrist shot high. He's a sniper, and this was a true sniper right here. He's killed the Preds for many years with his career as the Jets, and now over in Montreal doing it again. His second of the season puts Montreal up 2-0 over the Nashville Predators. 5:43 now in the third period. It's Montembeault coming in with the save on McCarron with the hard crash to the net. Somebody giving effort right there, trying to make something happen. At 6:30 out of the third period, it's Doc off the box. 2 minutes for slashing on Colton Sissons. Nyquist does pick up a goal, but it's immediately waved off, and upon instant review, you can obviously tell it was a kicking motion. This is the right call, and honestly, there was not a lot of protesting from the Nashville Predators on this one, not initially and not after the call either. Struble is going to pick up a penalty just after that. 2 minutes for holding. This gives the Predators a 5-on-3, 36 seconds. With that much talent, they should be able to get something done. Well, over the course of the 5-on-3 and then the 5-on-4, they're able to generate 4 total shots on goal, but they just simply cannot score. They just can't do it. So a 5-on-3, it comes and it goes, and the 5-on-4, it comes and it goes as well. At 11:10 of the third period, it's Montembeault coming to the save on Mark Jankowski. At 11:34 of the third period, Jack Dye off the box, 2 minutes for interference on LaRue. 2 players with X's in their names. That's got to be some sort of statistical anomaly for the NHL, doesn't it? I was trying to find something. I was trying to find something interesting in the third period. Montembeault comes with a save on Marchessault. That's also quite an interesting, easy say right there. Montembeault on Marchessault. Noonan comes up with a save on Evans' shorthanded breakaway. That's right. They already have one shorthanded goal in this game. Now a shorthanded breakaway. They had another rush out of the box. Really, truly bad coverage by the Nashville Predators this entire evening. 15-12 out of the third period. It's Montembeault coming with a save on Carey, plus the follow-up by Jankowski. 19-14 of the third period. It's Armia, another former Winnipeg Jet, killing the Nashville Predators yet again with his third goal of the season. It's an empty netter. That puts Montreal up 3-0. The final seconds tick away, and Montembeault gets the shutout in this game. Montreal outshoots the Nashville Predators 30-29. Montreal wins the game by a score of 3-0. Noonan makes a fantastic Nashville Predators debut, has a very strong game, gave his team every opportunity to win this one, but when you can't score, you can't win. Chris Mason said that one on the broadcast. That is a pretty obvious statement. Goaltender can't do it all. He definitely did some good work in this one for the Predators offense. It's in a drought, and this is going to cost the head coach of the Nashville Predators his job, whether it is his fault or not. We've been chronicling it. We've been building up to it. I don't think there's any way that the head coach of the Nashville Predators is going to survive. We'll say that more of that for the analysis portion of things, but this is a moment. The Predators had a comparable team tonight on the ice in Montreal, only 1 point better than them in the overall NHL standings, and they looked like the two teams were a chasm apart, a canyon apart, a great wide distance apart, and that was a 7th place team Nashville versus an 8th place team Montreal from their own division. Something's going to break for the Nashville Predators, and it's going to break very, very soon, possibly at the end of this road trip. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Threw a little bit of opinion in there, but it was necessary. We need to start talking about these things seriously. It can't go on like this. It cannot. We'll be back with a whole lot more just like this coming up next on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness, and that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. That was the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Noonan got the start in this game. His first start as a Nashville Predator since getting traded from the Colorado Avalanche. 27 out of 29, 2 goals against Young. A really strong debut. Thought he made some really good, solid saves out there. Showed off some of the skill set that has been featured and talked about and hyped up. He definitely put those on display. Gave his team a chance to win, but the team in front of him cannot score any goals at all. They're the most deficient offense in the entirety of the NHL. So no matter how good his performance was going to be, it wasn't going to be good enough. But a really solid debut overall. You got to like what you see out of the young goaltending prospect for the Nashville Predators. LaRue, my top forward to mention here as far as some analysis goes, 3 shots on goal, 11:04 in total time on ice. Also added a block shot, 2 hits, noticeable, getting in people's faces, being feisty, doing the pesty things that you'd expect him to do. And he's right. People are going to know his name because he is going to continue to get on people's nerves and get under people's skin and draw power plays for his team. LaRue doing quite a good job out there. I'm really excited about this particular prospect and what he can do moving forward as he gets more comfortable. I see very much a lot of the way Tkachuk goes about the game as the way LaRue goes about the game. His scoring touch could come around. It could be anywhere near what Tkachuk does in the NHL. Well, then LaRue would be one of the best players in the league. Not sure he has that high a ceiling, but he's got a good ceiling, I think, ahead as being a good, strong, solid third-line pest in this current NHL. Marchessault at 5 shots on goal in this game, 7:20 in total power play time on ice. You're going to notice a trend in the analysis here that leads to an overall point that brings it all together. But Marchessault did have 5 shots on goal. That did pace the Nashville Predators. Unfortunately, it did not get the Nashville Predators on the board. Philip Forsberg had 4 shots on goal, also missed 4 other shots, one of those being off the crossbar. He leads the NHL in missed shots. Think about that for a second. Philip Forsberg, with that otherworldly release and wrist shot that we've seen for years come from the top of the face-off circle, suddenly he cannot find the net. He's missed more shots than any player in the NHL. Tonight, 4 on, 4 off. That is not very good for a player that is considered to be a sniper and, the guy who holds the franchise record for goals scored in a season. He is in a slump like we have not really ever seen before. Stamkos had 3 shots on goal, skated 22 total, 22-38 total. Time on ice, 8:06 on the power play, 8:06. So Steven Stamkos' most noteworthy part of this game is having 3 shots on goal. That's it. Giving the puck away twice. Nothing else to mention about him. The captain, Roman Josi, the leading scorer of the Nashville Predators, who has 23 points on the season in 27 games played, manages to get 3 blocked shots, 1 shot on goal. 27:40 total time on ice. That's impressive. Second night of back-to-back. That at least is important. But 7:13 power play time on ice for the captain, Roman Josi. And all of those points that I just brought up, mention them for this reason. The power play in this game, 0 for 5, including having a 5-on-3. I don't care if it was only for like 36 seconds. It was a 5-on-3. And with that much skill on the ice, you should be able to generate something. They also gave up a shorthanded goal and another shorthanded breakaway, which, well, let's face it, the shorthanded goal is the game-winning goal for the Montreal Canadiens because the Predators never scored in this game. So the power play, 0 for 5, 8:06 for Steven Stamkos, 7:20 for Marchessault, 7:17 for Philip Forsberg, 7:13 for Roman Josi. It is beyond abysmal. It is the absolute worst. I cannot believe the power play, including having a 5-on-3, is the one place with this much skill where you don't have to worry about running a system. You don't have to worry about doing anything other than pass, find the open guy, shoot, go for the rebound. And the Predators just can't even do that. Their power play so ineffective that not only did they not score, but they gave up a goal against and another almost goal against. Really, really not good. That's the final point for the analysis, because what else can you say when the team goes on the road and gets shut out and looks absolutely lifeless out there in Montreal? Let's hear from our good friends at Stripe Digital Solutions. Let's come back. Let's carve out what we can of the box score, and let's close this show out. It's been a long 24 hours for this Nashville Predators team, and I wonder if this is going to lead to some endings here for the Nashville Predators. Something is going to have to change for this team, and it's going to have to happen very soon. You see teams around the NHL, the Boston Bruins, Chicago Blackhawks have already moved on from their coaches. It is not too early in the season, and Andrew Brunette, while he had a good first season, is just not getting the production he needs out of the players on the ice. And with the players having the power and the long-term contracts and the no movement clauses, the GM has put the coach in a bind, and therefore the coach is going to be the one that gets pinched, and he's going to be the one that loses his job. Whether it's Andrew Brunette's fault or not, it does appear that the pressure is building very quickly now on Andrew Brunette, and I wonder if the Preds don't succeed in Ottawa, if they go 0 for 3 on this road trip, and if they put out another lifeless performance against the Sens, I wonder if that doesn't shake things up here sooner rather than later. All right, Stripe Digital Solutions back with the box score.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
All right, when it comes to the box score, time for the good, cold, hard numbers here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. No goals, no assists, all zeros across the board all the way down. We don't talk about plus minus, but let me tell you, that is a lot of minuses across the board there. Let's go to the shots on goal category. At least there's something tangible there we can talk about. Marchessault led the way with 5. Forsberg had 4. Stamkos had 3. LaRue had 3. Nothing into the net. Block shots, 3 led the way by the captain Romeo. Alex Carrier also had 2, but overall block shots only 11 for the game. So amongst those 2 I just mentioned, they had 5, only 6 block shots by the remainder of the Nashville Predators roster. And again, they were playing a statistically comparable and a standings comparable team to themselves, and they looked like there was a gigantic chasm between these two teams. Really, it's otherworldly what's happening with this Preds team right now. And the physical component of things, Forsberg led the way with 4 hits. That's exactly what you want him leading the way with. And it was Luke Schenn with 3. And then let's give Romeo the credit for the 2 that he got. LaRue had 2. McCarron had 2 in his return to the lineup. And Cole Smith also had 2. Time on ice leader. Second night of back-to-backs. Anyone going over 21 minutes is impressive. So Steven Stamkos at 22:38. Although his minutes were largely ineffective, he still piled up quite a few minutes on the second night of back-to-back. 21:52 for Philip Forsberg, 21:09 for Gus Nyquist. That's the first time we've even mentioned Gus Nyquist. Well, I guess since he got abused by Austin Matthews. 27:40 was your total time on ice leader. Roman Josi, 21:06 for Brady Shea. The power play, we've already beaten the thing to death, but we're going to do it one more time. 8:06 for Steven Stamkos, 7:20 for Marchessault, 7:17 for Philip Forsberg, 7:13 for the captain, Roman Josi, 0 for 5, including a 5-on-3. They gave up a shorthanded goal and another shorthanded breakaway opportunity. The penalty kill for the Nashville Predators went 2 out of 3. They gave up 1 against. Again, 2:35. Time on ice leader Cole Smith, 1:41 for Colton Sissons, 2:56 for Brady Shea, 1:58 for Blankenberg, 1:51 for Alex Carrier. Your netminder, Justus Noonan, 27 out of 29, 2 goals against, a 931 save percentage in game, 20 even strength saves, 5 power play saves, 2 shorthanded saves in this game. Did give up a shorthanded goal. Again, some other numbers falling out of the box score. The power play again 0 for 5, including a 5-on-3. Gave up the shorthanded goal. And it was also the PK going 2 for 3. The face-off winning percentage at 44%. Simply not good enough. 19 hits, 11 block shots, 6 takeaways, and 19 giveaways. That's going to do it for the box score on this. Again, these teams were standings comparable, statistics comparable, a lot of similarities between them. Montreal only 1 point ahead of the Nashville Predators in the NHL standings coming into this game, and I don't understand how the Predators seem to be so far behind and such a big spread away from even the Montreal Canadiens. It's one thing. You go into Toronto, you get abused by Matthews and Marner. It happens to everybody. That's the type of thing that happens when you go into Toronto. But you go into Montreal, you expect to be a hell of a lot more competitive than what the Predators showed out there. This was, frankly, rather lifeless. And I'm going to close it out by saying that this is, I think, a must-win in Ottawa. I think the coach's seat is getting hot. I think the assistant coaches have to be feeling it right about now. Players that are on the fringe, that can be moved, maneuvered, perhaps ought to start getting quite nervous. I mean, I would love to say something like, wow, there's a blockbuster deal on the horizon for the Predators with the New York Rangers that's just going to blow things wide open and change the trajectory of the season for this Predators team straight up like a rocket ship, and the New York Rangers are going to benefit from it as well. But like, what could possibly happen right now other than like Steven Stamkos saying, I made a terrible mistake, please send me to the New York Rangers, and then, the Rangers can get rid of one of their high-priced outcasts that they don't want. Like, I don't see it happening that way. I see the only answer in professional sports, unfortunately, is to blame the head coach. That's the first step. And after that, it's the GM, and I don't see Bill Haslam, and I don't see David Poyle and Sean Henry making a move against Barry Trotz. Andrew Brunette, I think that he is probably on the hot seat pretty much officially. Don't win in Ottawa, another lifeless performance. Come back home to face the Calgary Flames on a Tuesday night at Bridgestone Arena. The fan base may be about to turn completely on this team. 7-14-6 through 27 games. 2-8-4 on the road, a goal differential of -25, the 32nd rated offense in the NHL at 2.22 goals per game, and they are on a losing streak that's making even me sad. That's going to do it for operation number 938. I don't think I can beat this one up anymore. We'll be back in the bunker Saturday night. I'll be in Bellevue for the next couple of days with the Red River Spartans taking on the Decatur Blaze. USPHL Premier Action. Come check us out 8:30 on Friday night. Also on Saturday night, the Ford Ice Center in Bellevue. Looking forward to our special 2-game series in honor of the Terry Crisp rink over there in Bellevue. That is something I am very excited about. Looking forward to getting back out there and calling a couple of games this weekend for the Spartans. I'll have highlights here on the next couple of episodes of the Renegades of Puck podcast. I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate your time. Most importantly, I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you are staying warm. It is freezing cold out here, but it sure was a pleasure and an honor to get out here and rant and rave and complain and bitch and moan and whatever it is I do. Please throw something in the swear jar for me on that one. I am your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, and respect.